guys, Redneck Computer Geek here. So I get a lot of emails on a frequent basis. Usually it's people asking questions or stuff like that for machines that they're working on. And recently I ended up with an email from a young man who was in a interesting situation with his parents. And here's the backstory. Basically, he's in small engine repair. He wants to go and do what I do for a living. Well, tractor flipping. Not necessarily the YouTube side, but he wants to flip tractors for a living. He enjoys it. But his parents have kind of put a little bit of a restriction on him. He's not allowed to have a junkyard. Or rather, his parents have put a restriction on him that he's not allowed to have more than 3 machines, which basically eliminates the chances of having a junkyard. So, the question that he posed to me was, is there a way that he could tractor hunt and flip machines and still maintain keeping his parents happy? So I've been in here working on my garage and getting all of this sorted out. There's the little toolbox there, so I've got one for the back of the garage and some grind down areas. And look, I can actually see almost my entire bench at this point. I need to relocate the drill press somewhere so it's where it's in a better location. So I figured we'd talk today while I walk around and maybe show you some stuff. We'll do a slight bit of subscriber update during this video. Right now I'm working on getting ready for the first drag race of the season, which is about, well, it's on the 22nd, so whenever that is from when I release this. So I ended up responding to his email, and I figure I'll pass the knowledge on to you guys also. And what I told him was to target what I call trust flips. What is a trust flip? In a trust flip, you are trusting that the individual that wrote the ad is telling the truth about the state of the machine. Specifically, I think that the carburetor failed. This is why. Or the starter died. I went to start it one day and it just cranks over and it doesn't do anything. It threw a belt. I'm sick of dealing with this machine. I'm done. It was running and driving until it threw the belt. Hint on the through the belt story machines. You obviously can A, see whether the belt is dropped off when you get there. And B, usually the person wants to tell you a ranting story about how far away it died, and they had to get their friend to go and push the machine with them somewhere. If that ranting story doesn't exist, or they don't have some backstory about it, there's a good chance you're getting lied to, and you should watch out. Now, trust flips are not profitable flips, okay? Yeah, I just got done pulling the motor out of that. That was my small mod machine last year. I just got done pulling the motor out because we're putting it into the hydro build for Jesse. By the way, you guys that are looking for the video for how to speed up the hydro and the dragster hydro I'm building, that's over on RCG Racing. I guess I didn't translate that very well on my post. And here is the hydro frame, all nice and painted up. She wants it purple. She wants it really dark purple when I do the body on it. So we'll see what we can do with that. Anyways, you want to target tractor hunting flips that you're able to show up, verify a little bit, and then you know that it's nothing but just a small part. You get it up and running and it goes. And the reason why I say these are low profit flips is because usually the person wants like $200 or $300 for the machine. And you need to do your background research in order to go and make sure that those machines fixed up. If you're buying it for $200, you end up needing to put a starter into it you need to sell that machine for at least a solid $350 in order to make a profit that's worth your time. So you need to backtrack and look at what those machines retail for. This is the other horrifyingly ugly machine that I'm working on. This machine here actually was supposed to be a trust flip, but backfired. It's a little MTD, and when I got it, the guy had done the belts on it. Supposedly all it needed was deck work and stuff like that. So I brought it home and I fixed the deck. I mowed my lawn, and I made it about 3/4 of the way through mowing my lawn and blew the motor to smithereens. And within a few minutes of starting the motor, I knew something wasn't right, and it ate the rings and blew the motor. Now, when I went to go pick this up, I shouldn't have trusted the guy. I should have fired it up, but I didn't. And so now I'm literally going to throw this thing up on Marketplace for I'll throw it up for $200, and the first person that shows up with 150 and says something that makes me laugh can take the stupid thing and run with it. Because I'm not going to make a profit. It is what it is. I had to swap in a $50 motor, and my profit is dead. It's time to liquidate that machine. You're never going to get money back out of it that you put further into it, so make it go away. So back to the aspect of his email of saying that he was allowed to go and have 3 machines by his parents' declaration. Now, the thing about that is that you could go on Marketplace and you could deliberately look for 3 matching machines and do a 3 made into 2 or 3 made into 1, sell whatever for profit, and then junk out the other machines, which is what a lot of guys that work in trailer parks do. I have a lot of people that follow me that are in trailer parks, and a lot of trailer park owners will allow you to have, ironically, 3 machines, which is why it is I'm betting that this gentleman lives in a trailer park area. And usually you have to have 1 running and 2 parts machines. And if you kind of casually sell a machine every once in a while or whatever, as long as you're up to date on your rent, most of the time they'll turn a slight blind eye to 1 or 2 extras. The other thing is, you can target machines on that 3 machine thing. You can target machines that are modular and swap parts really easily, like these. These 1045 Cub Cadets, I can't stand the Cub Cadet brand. I find them to be utterly overly expensive and stupid. But these are nothing more than GT MTD chassis. And so everything drivetrain-wise in this thing interchanges with a Yardman or a Yard Machine series that's of the same years, which means you put the really, really cheap MTD parts that you paid actual normal pricing for into a chassis with one of these overpriced hoods on it, and all of a sudden you make 3 times the profit. Just one other thing to go and keep in mind where you're going. The other thing also is you need to target machines with similar drivetrains. I get a lot of guys that end up, they pick up like, let me see here. Okay, let me spin you guys around and make you dizzy. That machine is the same frame, but a tough torque, as that machine that's the same frame but came with a 930, and that machine that's the same frame but came with side shift and an MST. Now, all 3 of those machines use the exact same clutching system, and so you can swap all of the parts over. But the thing is when you get into trying to swap side shift components over and changing things over and stuff, what sounds like about a 1-hour job usually turns into like a 2-day hell. And the first time somebody manages to knock over your container of bolts or screws, or you forget to take that picture that you need in order to figure out putting it back together on the other machine, or something like that, then you're done. And you end up with a horrible hell and hating life and everything else. Oh, I know you guys are going to ask, what about the Cub Cadets? Okay? That one's there. And that one's there. They haven't moved. I've ended up with a lot of family stuff, unfortunately, that's been going on. It's getting settled out at this point. And the other problem is, those are what I refer to as investment flips. And those require capital cash and floating money to be able to deal with. And if you guys would like, we can talk about what I mean by investment flips and what I mean by floating cash flips. So, there we are. I am glad to go and answer emails and stuff for people, and I hope that this helps other people with figuring out, what they're doing. Have a good day.